What is the government doing for these residents now and for clean-up?
Well, obviously, we're in the middle of an operation at the moment, so the focus is always going to be on providing that immediate assistance, assisting the communities to mitigate and evacuate as required. Today, we've got 1,500 SES volunteers on operations. They're being ably assisted by another 600 RFS volunteers, standing agencies like Fire and Rescue, New South Wales Police are also assisting, as is Serve Lifesaving and Marine Rescue. So it very much is a multi-agency response. I'm thrilled that to date, touch wood, we haven't had any fatalities, but as we've been saying in the last 24 hours, statistically, the amount of flood rescues that are occurring, particularly people in their cars, we are getting closer and closer to a fatality, and that is what we need to avoid at all costs. So far as the financial assistance is concerned, I've been in touch with David Littleproud, the Federal Minister, over the course of the weekend, and we've announced the disaster assistance packages. They're going out at the moment to 34 local government areas across the areas that have been flooded.
David, Elliott, have you called in the ADF? Have you sent a formal request to the federal government as yet?
Well, it's an important point because there are a lot of armchair generals out there who seem to think every time there's a natural disaster we've got to call in the ADF. But the ADF don't have fire trucks to put out fires for the RFS. They don't have rescue operations, flood rescue operators that the SES have. But they do have a significant amount of logistical support they can offer, as well as aviation. And, of course, they will be assisting their engineers. The Royal Australian engineers will no doubt be called upon, and that will be done today. But we're not going to call in soldiers to stand along footpaths. We need to make sure that there's something for them to do, and that will be over the course of the next 24 hours.
All right, let's just clarify that. So you are sending a request to the federal government for ADF support, but what will it be for specifically?
Well, that will be what the commissioners of the agencies, particularly the SES commissioner, needs it for. I mean, during the bushfires, they were used very much to assist with the initial recovery. I'm very grateful for that. Of course, their logistic support from the ADF comes via aviation and transport, and that will probably occur as well. But we're not going to, we don't call them in and just have them standing around. At the moment, the lead agency is the SES. The SES are trained to do flood rescues. The SES are trained to assist in evacuations, and we've got 1,500 of them out there at the moment. The ADF will come through the normal defence aid to the civil power proceedings, and that will occur over the course of the next 24 hours.
Okay, so in the next 24 hours, we will see some kind of ADF as support. Will this come by the way of amphibious vehicles and that more highly skilled appliances rather than soldiers on the ground? Well,
yes, of course. They'll be using these, whatever assets the ADF has available. And at the moment, the SES are well qualified to do the work. But yes, that's correct. The ADF have got some other specialist support that will always be used in the event of a major natural disaster like we're seeing today.
David Elliott, perhaps the ADF has a bigger role to play when the waters recede and the clean-up begins.
Well, that's exactly what happened after the bushfires, and I would assume that that is something that would occur after this event when we find out how much damage has been done. But we also have to rely on the fact that there will be a lot of demand on communities to get back over a course of period of time, and that the response will need mitigation as well, and the ADF can't necessarily always provide that mitigation. I mean, we find after all of these particular natural disasters that flood walls need to be built. We find that areas need to be better prepared, and so these natural disasters provide that opportunity to do that.
Just finally, Minister, do you have everything you need at the moment?
No, because I'd need a SES volunteer with a team of flood rescuers on every corner to be properly prepared. But I'm very confident that with the record budget New South Wales Emergency Services has at the moment, we couldn't be better prepared.